I genuinely thought that once I became the type of woman that men say that they want, that dating would be easier. I was completely wrong. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about I guess you could say the experiment that I ran since January of 2026. Because like I decided that I wanted to try something new, and sign up to multiple different dating apps for fun and, see like, hey, will I actually, grow a connection organically like how I be seeing the Plenty of Fish ads and the Badu ads, or will it be a disaster? So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience as a black woman, but not just as a black woman, as a conventionally attractive black woman. And when it comes to these type of videos, sometimes like I've never been the type of person to like talk about like how fine I am and how like conventionally attractive I am and how like, oh, if I walk outside, and twitch enough, I can get 3 numbers from 3 different guys. Like that's never been me. But like, as somebody that's partially chronically online, I have been like seeing a lot of people talk about their very different experiences when it comes to online dating, and a lot of people are not sure. Like there's some people that are for online dating, and there's some people that's vehemently against it, and like I don't blame those type of people, because of all the 2020 episodes, all of the scary things that can happen when you don't know someone and when you're not properly vetting someone, and when you just meet someone online, it can be like crazy, it can be like scary. There's a lot of things to consider when it comes to online dating, so a lot of people are against it, but yeah, for me personally, I just wanted to like try something new, and just actually just see like, how is it like being on being on a dating app at 25, black, the way I am. Like, cause I remember when I was 19 and 18, I was like, well, time to join the apps. Cause like at first I wasn't really trying to, but then I was like, outside of the community, the religious community that I was like raised in for the most part, I had no idea how to possibly get a man. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on the apps and see how it is. And like, I remember back then I would get so many swipe rights from older guys and younger guys, and stuff like that. And of course I'm a little bit different. Like I'm not 18 and 19 no more. I am 25 years old. And of course things are way different. Well, not really too different. Like I'm just like, a little bit older, a little bit wiser, and definitely I've gained some weight. Your girl has been eating her avocado toast with momofuku chili oil crunch oil, which is immaculate, which is amazing, like literally amazing. And I just wanted to join multiple different apps, just to see what would be the result of it, and like how it and how would it be, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, dating apps are like dumpster diving, there's pee in the dating pool. If you haven't been living under a rock, like that's a saying, like people say like, oh, there's pee in the dating pool. A lot of women say stuff like that online. And I am also one of those type of people that was mostly against being on dating apps, because it's good to like meet someone, but sometimes like, I don't know, it's good to just like put yourself out there in different ways. And like, let's say you start talking to someone far away, like, but he's your match, like, you can't find that person where you're at, like, so it's kind of just like a thing to do if you just want to like expand your net of the type of guys that you can possibly catch. But yeah, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience, and basically I let y'all know a little bit right there. But let me introduce myself. Hello, my name is Tandis Charm, and I am an independent recording artist and a content creator, and I love just being professionally me and professionally silly and wild online in a really fun and goofy, lighthearted way. And if you're into that, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on all my social medias because I'm very active on there. And also subscribe to my my Substack as well, because I make newsletters regularly, and I've written so many newsletters and made exclusive podcasts that you'll only find on Substack. So check that out. And also I have my own official website too that I built. So if you're into fashion and like you like reading blog articles about makeup recommendations and fashion recommendations, and also outfit collages that I put together from like temu and sites like that that are already ready made, because like I love putting together outfits and like making blog articles about it. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you check that out, and all of the links will be in the YouTube description box below. So what prompted me to actually join multiple dating apps? Now, like I was saying, you know, it was the beginning of January, like the start of January 2026, and I was just like, you know, I can't say that I was on a healing journey. I was just like on a journey of just getting to know myself, journaling, figuring out who I am, what I really, really like, and, you know, getting clear on things that I need to get clear on, like boundaries and like what I want in someone, what I want in a man, and stuff like that. And you know, I'm always like on my phone sometimes, and like you would get bombarded with apps, like dating apps like Boo and Badu. Like I would get you know, bombarded with those two apps a lot, because like I have like a physical diary where I write stuff, and like I write just how I feel, work on my mindset, you know, and write girly things and like motivate myself. Like this is like one of my chapters in my diary where I was just talking about why I shouldn't care about gossip, and just like other things, like when people are gossiping about you and talking about you, like it's so cutesy. And I have stickers and stuff like that. So, you know, that's like one of my biggest hobbies, is like journaling about anything, or like gratitude journaling, you know, because I don't think I need any more mental work on myself. Like, you know, it just takes like motivating yourself when you're like trying to achieve things and stuff like that. And also I want to get my cup real quick. Since this video is about dating, I want to get my wine glass, you know, and take a little sip. But anyways, I have my physical diary, and then I have my digital diary when I run out of pages and I can't write. Because writing in my diary is just like a everyday thing, and I don't miss a day. Like I do not miss a day when it comes to writing and journaling about anything and everything. And it's not always like things that are heavy on my heart. Like sometimes I just need to like express something, you know, write something, and just, you know, journal in general. And like writing in my diary has really helped me like become my own friend and really like reflect on who I am. And, you know, like sometimes like when I write my diary, like it really like teaches me a lot about myself, and like things that I do that's like, it's like, Tandis, why are you doing that? Like, let's stop that pattern and let's like try to be a little bit more positive or be a little bit more motivated in certain areas of my life. You know, life is a huge process, but on one of my digital diary apps, I would always get bombarded with like the Badu dating app commercial, because they started introducing ads to the dating app. They started introducing ads to the digital diary app, and I was always see the Boo app and the Badu app as well, like all the time, and like I would have to like click it off. I'm like, what the heck? And you know, they were saying like find your soulmate on there, and I was like, you know, although I'm not in a rush, you know, I'm not in a rush for nothing, but I was like, you know, I want to like just test it. Like, I have not been on dating apps in a long time, like probably like a good 5 years or 6 years. I was not on none of them, but I decided to just like literally download Boo, Badu, Plenty of Fish, and also Bumble too. I did not use Tinder because yeah, I just wasn't going to, and I did not make an account on Hinge because yeah, I just didn't want to. But I was mostly curious about the app Boo and Badu, like what is these apps? And you know, also I was curious about seeing the reactions now, because like back in 2019, like I would get a lot of swipe rights. I mean a lot. And you know, again, like I'm not the type to be like, oh, and I'm this and I'm that, because I'm really like humble. Like, you know, I'm really like a humility person. Like I have lots and lots of humility. But since this is social media and like, hey, I gotta like toot my horn or whatever, like every time I go out, I do get about like 2 or 3 numbers from different guys, but the quality of men, like, you know, I don't know about the quality, or, you know, the type, you know what I mean? But, you know, I usually always get at least 2 or 3 guys trying to ask for my number, when I'm going out, just running errands, and also, you know, yeah, like it's usually like that when I download, the apps. And I decided to download, you know, all of those apps from the start of January, literally. Because I was like, you know what, I'm just going to test it and see how it goes and stuff like that. And I kind of found out, like, that I am conventionally attractive. Because, like, I mean, I already know my worth and know who I am regardless of looks. But it's like, the reason why I bring this up is because, like, before I even got back on these dating apps just to see, you know, how the streets were looking like, you know, out here. You know, I always seen a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube and other social medias talking about how, you know, it's so hard dating as a black woman. Oh, white men, they don't like black women. Oh, and like there's so much like fear mongering about that. And like, oh, black men don't like black women, you know. And like there's so much like fear mongering. There's so much like talk. And it's like, oh, I'm not as pretty as the white girls. Like what? Like, and then there's me. Like, it's like, you know, if I could just speak from honesty, I have nothing in common with with most black women on social media when they start talking with those type of talking points. Maybe it's because I live in Texas, you know, and maybe some people live in other like places. Like I heard that dating and stuff like that was kind of weird in like Ohio and like in Miami for dark-skinned, brown-skinned women. But like I have never had an experience like that in my life. You know, there was times in my life, like when I was 18, 17, where I just like, oh yeah, and 19, like there's chunks of my life where I just dedicated myself to just working, because like around that time I was like, forget dating, forget socializing and making friends. I'm just going to focus on building a business and being an entrepreneur. And, you know, that was a bit of a bumpy road. You know, it's still a journey. You know, like I haven't given up on like the idea of starting a business and being an entrepreneur. But that stuff is on hold because I have to turn up. Like, I'm not going to be 25 for long. Like, I'm not going to be in my 20s for long. So I'm just trying to dedicate myself to turning up for a minute. You know what I mean? And hence, like, you know, the video of me at the FIFA Fan Festival in Houston turning up, you know, making people, you know, jealous of me. And like, hey, I was not trying to make nobody jealous when I was out. Like, I was just being my own self out there. And you know, the Japanese guys, the Punjabi guys, you know, I seen y'all was like trying to look at me and all that. And you know, yeah, I had a good time, you know, at the Houston FIFA Fan Festival. And I know that sometimes when it comes to wine glasses, like, there's a particular way to hold it, but like, I'm just holding it the way that I'm holding it. And yeah, but from the start of this year, in 2026, I made a profile in multiple dating apps. And yeah, I was talking about how I don't have nothing in common with a lot of black women that be talking about how hard it is, how they're insecure, how, you know, oh, but what if the white man do this and the white man does that? Like, I've never had a life like that. Like, it's so interesting. And then also, I will be bringing up my religious background a little bit because, like, that has so much to do with, like, everything about me, and especially with dating. But, like, we're going to talk about, like, the experience so far. And yeah. But I downloaded those apps and, you know, I set up my profile, put up my profile pictures, with my trusty, well, I want to say trusty dusty host, but yeah, with my trusty dusty host Ringo, Star, and we're in a situationship, you know, me and my stuffed animal. But he loved me. He's always in my bed. You know what I mean? Like, we in a relationship. Like we always gonna be forever. We always gonna be forever. But jokes aside, you know, I took a couple of pictures with my stuffed animal and like in my, you know, pretty dresses I bought, you know, set up my profile pictures, and you know, I just, you know, start swiping away. And one thing that annoyed me about most of these dating apps is that, like, it's kind of like marketed towards women who are kind of desperate. And the reason why I say this is because, you know, I was on the app Boo. I think, like, the layout is cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of reminds me of, like it reminds me of spaceships and, like, starships. Like, it's a blue app, like Boo. Okay. But I don't like that I have to pay for an upgrade just to talk to a man. And then the same thing with Bumble and Plenty of Fish. Well, okay, Plenty of Fish didn't have, like, an upgrade or nothing like that. But Boo and Plenty of Fish... No, Boo and Bumble had me messed up. Because I was not going to pay for nothing. I was not going to pay for nothing just to reply to somebody. But it's like I had to swipe. And then it's like, if they message me, then we can talk back and forth. But, like, if you want to talk back and forth with somebody, you have to pay for an upgrade. And there was, like, so many tiers. And it's like, what's all this? It's like, what is all of this stuff? I'm paying to talk to some man? Ain't no way. Because it's not hard to talk to a man. Like, you can go down to the library or to the mall or to the bus stop to talk to just an average male. Like, you know what I mean? But that threw me off. And I was like, I'm not, like, my intentions is not to pay nada. I'm not paying a red cent to talk to nobody. And you know, yeah. So I didn't like Boo for that. And I was like I still am just kind of like laughing to myself, like, in my head, because I'm like, no, like, I'm not paying for no upgrade. Like, what? And yeah, but nonetheless, you know, when I was on Plenty of Fish, Boo, Badu, and those apps. I had messages that was literally flooding my inbox. Excuse me, I'm not trying to burp on camera. That's why I'm trying to cover my mouth and be a lady about things. But I was very surprised that my inbox was flooded like hell. And I was like, what's like, not that I'm like insecure, but it's like, what's so special about me? But yeah, and I swiped on like people my age, maybe a little bit older, because, you know, like a guy that's in his late 20s isn't like a deal breaker for me, or nothing like that. And yeah, I was surprised when I was on Plenty of Fish. You know, not that I have any insecurities, but like for a long time, like, you know, I'm not on any dating apps. I'm not even looking to date no one. I'm just like getting to know myself, getting situated, moving from one place to my new apartment that I'm sharing with my family right now. You know, I'm just trying to figure out myself, you know. And you know, you go online, you hear all these black women talk about how, oh, dating is so bad and we're so unattractive. Like, that has never been my story. Like, I have never even like lived that way. And like, you know, I'm not going to say like, oh, I haven't experienced racism, because I don't want to sound like the type of person that's like, oh, you know, I see no color. Like, I'm not trying to like sound like that. But what I'm trying to say is that like, you know, my experience so far in my 25 years of living has been pretty okay. Like, I have not had like a scary time, like, you know, racism and all those scary things. Like, I have had some passive aggressive women, but that's like, you know, jealousy sometimes, and that just comes with the territory of just kind of like growing up knowing that your validation is in God, and like having that air of confidence everywhere that you go. And you know, people don't have that type of relationship with God, you know, or with themselves at all. So it's like, you know, I don't know, like I just found out that I kind of like give off that type of energy, you know. And you know, just making this video, I feel kind of arrogant for just talking about it, but it's like, it's the truth. Like, it's the truth. Like, I don't be doing nothing but being myself. But you know, sometimes like even TikTok introduced me to what microaggression is. Not saying that that doesn't exist, because hey, I got some experiences where some women was kind of being microaggression with me. But at the same time, it's like, if nobody's not, you know, literally harming me, hurting me, or literally doing nothing like scary to me, like, hey, like, as a woman, if you're trying to be ambitious, if you have a good head on your shoulders and all of that, it's going to be like that. Like, you know, and especially like for black women, because the whole microaggression thing is like, you know, a term that black women, like, I don't want to say came up with, but I see a lot of black women talk about, and it's like when non-black people kind of like be kind of passive aggressive because you're pretty, because you have a light, because you have aura, because you have some type of charisma that they see. Like, I didn't see nothing. Like, I be watching Sesame Street. Like, I just be in my world, you know. But you know, people see me as one way. Like, you know, people see me in a certain way, and it's like, sometimes other women that's non-black can be microaggressive to you, microaggression to black women, and honestly, it's whatever. Like, as long as you're over there and I'm over here, we're gonna be good. Like, I really don't care about all that type of stuff. And like, you know, a lot of my life, like, I really just like overlooked a lot of that stuff. It's like, you know, I seen that woman, she was kind of acting this way with me, but maybe she just has depression. Maybe she has anxiety disorder, because I had anxiety bad when I was 12 too. Like, you know, and still kind of like have anxiety from like every now and then. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I keep offline. You know, obviously I have a diary, and I filled up 200-300 page ones. So, you know, yeah, your girl have a lot of things to write. So, you know, yeah, but yeah, it just kind of just be strange. Like, not that like bad things don't happen in this world or anything like that, but it's just like, I recognize that sometimes people kind of like they're sizing you up and being judgmental sometimes, but it's like I overlook it because it's like I'm comfortable in my skin, I'm comfortable in who I am, and even more comfortable in like, being a black woman because that's who I am, nostrils and all. You know what I mean? Nostrils and all. Like, and hey, like there's nothing that I can really do about that. Like, this is like me and things. And yeah, I was like surprised, like especially because dun dun dun, like I've been doing some eating. And it's not like I'm like unbearably overweight. I feel like the funniest thing, like I have written so many notes because like as I was on the apps and talking to different guys, I was just like recognizing this pattern with guys. And I was like, laughing about it to myself, and we're gonna get to that, but wait, let me just get a sip of this, y'all. Oh wait, I know what I was talking to. Wait, why am I holding this like a microphone? Like, why, mom? But no, I know what I was talking about. I was saying like, dun dun dun. I've been doing some eating. And I'm not like a size 4/6 that I used to be when I was like in 2018 and 2020. And I'm a little bit more weightier than like long time ago. So I was just like, well, how would the experience be? And the thing is that dun dun dun, I had a lot of swipe rights. Like my inbox was flooded. It was crazy on Badu. Like a lot. Like I was like flooded on Badu and flooded on Plenty of Fish and flooded on Boo. But like the crazy thing is, like I remember a long time ago, the only dating app, well I was in a couple back then, but like back in 2018 and 19, the only dating app that I was on that I tried was Bumble. And like back then, I remember I would get so many swipe rights. It was like match, 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 match. And, there was like 2 amazing guys that I was talking to around that time. And like I remember that he was like, it was like one guy, he was really cute. Like I was like listening to Steve Lacy, like play crashing out, listening to what's that song called? Like his new song. I think it's called The Heart Wants What It Wants or something like that. Let me see. What's that new song called? If I just go in my YouTube history, I would literally know really quickly. But oh, there you go. It's literally on my homepage because I've been listening to it so much. I was like, there's something I don't know. Am I your baby? Am I your baby? But the song that I was talking about is The Feeling from Steve Lacy. And I remember a long time ago on Bumble back in 2019, there was an extremely cute guy. I mean extremely cute. He was half black and he was half Vietnamese. And I remember when I was talking to him, I was like, oh, he's Malaysian. And that's automatically on period A. Like, come on now. Like, first of all, I'm not thirsty, but like, come on now. He was automatically on period A. And I forgot his name. And we had an amazing talking stage, and I was like talking to him. I remember that he said that he was adopted, and he had his father, and they had like a whole business, and so he was like up on his stuff. And I remember like I was talking to him, and I was like, oh my god, is he Korean? Because I'm like, I could practice my Korean again, because I used to be fluent in Korean for a minute. But, of course, like, now, like, I'm not really that fluent. Like, I can speak 조금만, like, 저는 조금만 한국말을 할 수 있지만 말을 더듬거려요. So I don't even know what I said like all the way, but I said that like I can speak Korean, but I be stuttering. I can speak Korean, but I stutter. I think that's what I said. And when it comes to everything else, hey, I don't even know. Like 안녕하세요 and 안녕히계세요, 안녕히계세요, 안녕히가세요. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much it. Like my Korean is at like it used to be fluent. Because, you know, I used to talk to, like, a lot of Korean folks down the street, you know, especially, like, at nail salons and, like, beauty supply stores. I would just, like, you know, break the barrier back then. But no, he was Vietnamese. And, yeah, he was really cute. But, you know, around that time, you know, my mom, like, although I love her so much, but, like, she was unaware that I was on dating apps, and I come from a very religious background, so she was just like a religious background where you only date within your like religious community. It's like don't date someone that's not equally yoked as you. You know, that's, you know, what my mom goes off of, and you know the religion that you know my mom was the religion that like my mom is a believer in is called Jehovah's Witness, and some people know a lot about it, some people make fun of it, but you know, Jehovah's Witness lifestyle is a very like pure and moral lifestyle. Am I one? No, I am more like on the spiritual side. You know, of course I pray, and like I was laughing at myself because I was like making the script for this video, and I was like, I'm pretty much Jehovah's Witness adjacent. But no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. Because, like, if y'all catch me, you know, accepting somebody's Valentine's gift and y'all gonna be side-eyeing me, that's why I said I'm not. Like, I'm not. But, like, I appreciate, you know, my background and all that. Because it has to do a lot with, like, you know, how everything happened, like, with me. Like, the life of me. But anyways, yeah, I was talking to that guy, but my mom was unaware of it, and she basically stopped me from talking to him. And I remember that made me feel really, really upset and really, really butthurt. You know, because, you know, he actually sent like an Uber so that we can like, you know, see each other and date, but then my mom stopped things. So that made me really, really mad. And then there was another guy that I was talking to. He was actually Punjabi. And he, you know, something about those Indian men. You know, like I remember when I was walking into some macaroon store in Texas. I remember a long time ago. It was this tall Indian man with good hair. And he just looked like he was just, whatever he was up on it in life. Like, whatever type of education he come from it. Like, he was, like, really good looking, you know. And, you know, there was an Indian guy that I was talking to, and he was in his 20s. And, you know, I was, like, trying to, like, talk to him and stuff like that. And, like, yeah, you know, I was just like me. Like, actually, my hair was in space buns. So, like, yeah, I look ultra young or whatever. But, yeah, I remember when I was trying to talk to him, you know, I tried going on a date, but, like, my mom, like, was not having it because she was like, you cannot be on dating apps. And, like, that was something that, like, I was really mad at for a long time. And it's like, I had to do a lot of, like, I don't know, discovering myself and figuring out that, like, you can love your people, but you gotta have boundaries, because sometimes, you know, people have different views of where you should be and what you should be doing right about now. But I decided to embrace and embark on my own autonomy and, you know, put myself out there. And sometimes people are not just, you know, evolving like you, and they don't want you to like go on with your life. And it's like, you know, I hate to say it, but sometimes you gotta get people checked. You gotta like check people. You know, like, I love my mom to bits and pieces, but sometimes you gotta check people, because sometimes I think about like, what if I actually like talked to them and we were actually like a serious thing, because they were talking to me and they were like, oh my god, like you're this, you're that, and this, and it's like I was cut off from totally like embarking on that, and it's like I couldn't like, you know, do my own thing like I wanted to, because of my mom back then. And I'm not trying to like blame nobody, but I'm just trying to like be honest, since this is like about me dating and like basically opening up about y'all very like personally about this, because it's like, hey, I don't really mind like talking about this online, and like I've been wanting to kind of like share this on my platform. But yeah, you know, I was really angry, and he was the type to spoil somebody, and he was boyfriend material. So yeah, but like, you know, of course, you know, I got things straight, and even like at the ripe age of 25, sometimes like I still have fights and hiccups with my mom, because she don't understand that, you know, I'm an adult, I'm going to make my own decisions, I'm going to embrace my own autonomy, I'm going to go out, I'm going to move forward. Like, she doesn't understand that. But like, you know, the only thing that you can do like is just be as respectful and as sweet as you can, but like check people too, because like at the end of the day, this is your life, and life is going, like, we're only getting older, so it's like you gotta like get people straight. Like the people that you love, you gotta get people straight, and you have to just be really strong, because that's kind of like how it is. And by the way, I was never a baptized Jehovah's Witness. I was raised by my mom, you know, who was a Jehovah's Witness, and you know, my father wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. He was an unbelieving mate. So, and you know, my father, like, you know, I don't want to be so messy online, but like, he was darn near into magic. Darn near, you know. But yeah, that's basically like the background story, and I don't live with him anymore. You know, I don't really you know, yeah, I don't deal with him, you know, like that, and I just want to keep it cute and keep it just like that. But I'm extremely close to my mom and my you know, immediate family and stuff like that, and extended family too and stuff like that. And yeah, and like my whole family is mostly Jehovah's Witnesses, so yeah. Yeah, but I was very mad. But like yeah, but like Bumble back then in 2019, like it was like different, because I was so young and I never actually dated outside my religious community until like then. And I remember I was so shocked by modern dating so much. And you know, people were saying that dating apps were bad then, but what I can say is that like it wasn't as bad as it is today. But dating apps were decent enough back then. And also another thing that I want to say about Bumble now in the year 2026, I was very surprised by, you know, attempting to go like back on Bumble, because when I was on there, like it was kind of like a ghost town. And like even Bumble BFF is kind of like that too. And they want you to pay for a bunch of upgrades so that you can have a better app dating experience. And like, I'm like, what in the scam is going on? But when it comes to Boo, Badu, Plenty of Fish, and yeah, Boo, Badu, Plenty of Fish, and what else was I on? Bumble? Yeah, Bumble. Yeah, but Boo, Badu and Plenty of Fish, my inbox was flooded like hell. But Bumble was kind of like a ghost town. And then also I noticed that Bumble don't really have hot guys on there no more. Like on Badu, Plenty of Fish, and Boo, I swiped right on good looking guys. You know, and then like other like average regular guys, because like, hey, like, you know, I'm not like discriminating or nothing like that. But Bumble don't really have like good looking guys. Like I remember when I was on there in 2019, there was like, you know, surfer looking guys and like Malaysian guys and other different folks on there, and Indian guys, you know, on there, and I swipe right, he swiped right on me too, you know, and stuff like that. But like nowadays, it's just like a ghost town. It's just like a money grab app. You know what I mean? It's like a money grab app at best. And there's like not that many like decent looking guys for the most part, and that was the observation too. And I don't like how they want you to upgrade so much, and that's another reason why I like didn't like Boo so much, because it's like you have to buy upgrade after upgrade after upgrade to just get basic regular features for the dating app. And I was like, I think not, because this is a test. I'm trying to figure out like, should I even be on apps, and like, should I not? And of course, like, you know, like now that I realize it, like after like scrolling online and seeing like what guys think about dating apps and women that be on there, I'm like, oh, so they think that you're desperate? And I'm like, how do men think that I'm desperate when I'm just like simply on a dating app and putting up a profile and being a person? Like, how do y'all think that? Like, that's not even right. You don't even know me. You know what I mean? I feel like the Kermit the Frog meme, like when he's drinking wine. Like, how do y'all, like, y'all don't even know me. You know what I mean? So now we talked about all of that. Let's get into the juicy part where I'm talking about like the actual experience with talking to multiple different guys. Now, first of all, it was very, very nauseating. Like, I know a lot of people be talking about like date multiple guys, and like, yeah, I believe in roster dating to a certain extent, but it's just like too many popcorn connections. Like, there's no other words that I can describe it. Like, there's too many popcorn connections online. Like, when I was like on these apps, because I was like, okay, whoa, okay, hey, bebecita. Like, they're like, hey, bebecita. Like, the Mexican guys are like, hey, bebecita. And I'm like, howdy, you know. And I'm just like, you know, howdy, you know what I mean? But, like, I'm just talking, you know what I mean? But it was so strange. Like, I written in my diary, I was just like, why do I get this reaction from like majority men? Like, how many months has it been? Like, I was on dating apps for like 4 months, and like I got this same type of reaction from guys like when I was on the app. And like, this is the thing, like I would like talk to them, open up one or like two, because I'm like, okay, there's a couple of different guys, like Mexican guys, and then there's like Indian guys. Like, I like the Indian guys, you know, and you know, I was like, well, you know, yeah, I'll talk to the Mexican guys, because like, you know, hey, bebecita, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you know. And I found out, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a bebecita. Like, I had no idea. Like, and I was like talking, and like not just Mexican and black, but I was like talking to like whites, to like, I swipe right on white guys, Mexican guys, and Indian guys, and you know, I have this common reaction from guys. It's like when I start talking, they look at my profile picture, they see me, in different photos, and it's like it always goes like this. It's like they treat me like I'm an endangered species. Like, it's like I always get this sense of like, oh, I get this type of this sense of awe from them when they're talking to me. And I was just like, well, I mean, I'm just like talking, conversating, and I'm just like, why are you on this app? What made you want to download this app for? And, what are your intentions and stuff like that? And it's like they talk, and it's like they're shocked. It's like they're shocked that I am talking. Like, I don't even know how to even explain that. But they're shocked that I am a real life human being, I guess. And I'm not just like flesh and booty. Like, I don't know. Like, I have no clue. And I don't even speak Manonese. But like, what I have been experiencing is like, they say stuff like, whoa, you're genuinely so different than most women on this app. And then I get, you are so intelligent. And then I get, wait, is this thing about to move? Okay, because I'm like, did this thing kind of move a little bit? But yeah, I get like, you're so intelligent. And then there's another thing that I've written down. Yeah, I never met someone like you on this app before. And then it's like a genuine curiosity. They're like, why are you on this dating app? Like, why are you? And I'm like, for a genuine bond? Like, for a bond? For a connection? That might blossom into somebody special and you might get upgraded to a boyfriend, maybe? Like, what do you think? Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's crazy. And then like, of course, so I was talking to this cutesy Indian guy. And he was like, for as it seems, like as he looks and all that, period at. And I was talking to him and we were like, doing a talking stage or whatever for a minute, and he was like talking to me, and he like laughed with me. He was like from a similar like religious background, like he grew up religious in his like own religion, and but he was on that app like looking for like a girl, like, and he's not looking for no like serious commitment. So I'm like, oh, okay. But I was like talking because I might just like, you might just see me and be like, oh, she's the one. And of course I'm the one. Of course I'm the one. Like, if I am the one to you, of course I'm the one. And even if you don't think I am the one for somebody. But we were on the phone. I was just like, talking like, hey, you know what I mean? And basically we talked about Love Island a little bit. And then he wanted to like ask some spicy questions. I was like talking to him, asking questions about him, and just talking about like what he believed, where he's from, and stuff like that. And that was really interesting, like talking to him. But again, even with him, like he liked me a lot. But even with him, it's like what is that? What is wrong with y'all men? Like, what is going on with y'all? But let me like explain this. It's like, I guess and that like connection that I made with the Indian guy, he was from Plenty of Fish. But it's like, even he was like, there's a lot of women on this app. They don't really talk, like, they don't really know how to talk. They're not like conversate with nobody. Like, and basically he said like in a gentleman type of way that like, hey, on this app, there's usually hoes. You don't really give off hoe. And like, I don't know what type of category to categorize you as. Like that's how I felt in my mind. But like what he really said was like, you know, I'm really blown away by you because most women on this app don't know how to talk, and like, you know, why are you even on this app? Like, you know, he was saying like there's a lot of women that just be looking for like hookups immediately, and you know, they just want to get to it. Like, they just want to get to it. You know what I mean? And he was saying like they don't have like personality or nothing like that. And it's like, he was kind of like flustered by talking to me. And I'm just like, you know, like, you can make your decision. You know, you can just tell me how you feel or whatever. Mr. Punjabi guy, you know what I mean? But, you know, it was on like, it was a cute little talking stage or whatever, but it didn't make it past anything else because it's like, again, his intentions was just like, let me find me a new piece of ass. But, and he was talking about like how he has friends, and he was saying like, you know, his friends was trying to like convince him to like start dating like more women and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, you know. And yeah, that was just kind of like interesting. Like, it's always like why are you even on this app? And like, he was like telling me like, yeah, women like, they just want to get to it. You know, my last girl, she don't have like, he was basically saying he didn't diss nobody because, you know, also, I'm listening to you like, are you about to diss some other girl in front of me? Because like, that says a lot about your character, mister. Like, I'm not about to diss nobody from my past. Yeah. Wait, what else am I trying to say? But no, he was just saying like, in honesty, like, nobody don't got no personality like you. Like, you're different. And by the way, like, I'm not trying to be shallow, but he was good looking. Like, you know, I was kind of like intentional, and I tried to swipe on the most good looking guy I could ever swipe on those apps. And then like, of course, you know, I talked to some average people too, which was like, hey, it's whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, average to me, you know, in my eyes. But, you know, like, I usually like guys that have eyes that look like they glow in the dark. So, be that as it may, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what I'm saying, like, be that as it may, but I'm just like trying to think of a saying real quick for the camera. But he was basically saying like, yeah, you know, I've never met somebody like you, and I know that some people might call love blind, whatever, blah blah blah. But, you know, I'm a smart lady. And, you know, we were talking for a minute. It was like fun. Like, it's great to practice talking stages with guys. Like, even if you kind of figure out that like, hey, you know, like, I don't really want to go on a date with you, but like, I won't say that. You just kind of like go about your day and you just stop messaging. You know what I mean? And that's life. That is the dating world. This is modern dating. But he was like, you do not look like you should be on this app. And he was basically saying like, there's nothing but hoes on this app, and you're just like full of personality. Like, what are you doing? Like, and I was just like, I'm just, you know, looking for a connection. You know, well, I don't want to like talk about all my standards and stuff like that, like, on camera, but like, I was basically like, I'm looking for like a supportive, you know, partner, you know, meet someone new, you know, the new year started, I just want to meet someone different, and blase blase. And, you know, yeah, we're just gonna keep the rest a little personal because hey, you know, I'm not about to, you know, tell everything online. Oh yeah, and since then I have deleted my profiles, you know, so if y'all try to find me, like, it's over, like, it's deleted. But yeah, I noticed that, like, it was like from a lot of guys, it's like that reaction, like, why are you on this app? Like, why are you on this app? Like, they straight up like saying it. Like, they're trying to be nice because it's like, I'm nice too. But it's like, why are you on these apps? And I'm like, well, to be somebody nice, and I just want to see, like, how is the dating experience on the apps now in 2026? Because I took a ginormous, like, break from, like, literally everything. Like, basically technology and everything. One time. Now, let's talk about the Looks Maxers and the Alpha Bros. Yes, I did swipe right on a Looks Maxer. He was a self-proclaimed Looks Maxer, and he actually had a sharp jawline, and he was white. And he had a six-pack, and he had, like, a lot of gym photos. So I was like, why not? Let me just see what he's on, So I was just, like, talking and whatnot. And, like, I was, like, discussing, like, pop culture, just being nice, like, friendly and stuff like that. But I realized something suspicious was happening. I was like, oh yeah, and this was on Plenty of Fish. And I was like, why is he so on point? Why is he replying so fast? And, like, things just feel like ChatGPT a little bit. Like, something feels like ChatGPT. He was a real guy, but he was using ChatGPT to try to, like, help him carry a conversation on Plenty of Fish. And I was very shocked. I was very shocked, and I was appalled. Because you are not going to use AI on me. You are, and first of all, that was weird. I was like, what the hell? I was like, what the hell on? And I was like, I didn't even know Plenty of Fish had, like, a feature like that. To help people have a conversation. And then, like, I noticed it because, like, I be using ChatGPT sometimes to help me, like, make YouTube scripts and, like, do, like, digital marketing and stuff like that. So, like, I know how AI be talking, and I'm like, how they phrase things, how people make, like, little memes about that type of stuff on, like, social media. And I was like listening to him, and then I, like, switched up things, and then, like, he didn't know what to say. Because I was like, okay, we're talking about this. Like, you keep on going on and on. Like, why is this sounding too perfect? So I, like, switched the topic. And then it was like, oh, yeah. So you're using ChatGPT. Block. And, like, I've noticed something about these Looks Maxers. These Looks Maxers don't got no game. Like, like, hey, I'd rather date a guy that eats a Whataburger a day that has a good conversation, like, that's a good conversationalist, rather than a Looks Maxer with a sharp jawline and a rock hard abs that know how to lift, but can't talk worth a darn. Like, and I knew he was using AI. What's up with that? That was weird. And it wasn't going to go any further. Like, my frontal lobe is fully developed. But yeah, I was like, I knew something suspicious was going on. I knew it. And, like, something about, like, even, clavicular, like, I'm probably going to make the Looks Maxer community mad, but even clavicular, all right, you have a type. Hey, it's whatever. Like, you can't help what you want. Like, everybody basically have, I feel like, a baseline of what their type is, and then they have their maybe list. Like, if you could just keep it a buck, you know what I mean? Like, if we could just keep it just, like, a bean on this video, because I'm all about keeping it a bean. And, yeah, I personally feel that way, about, like, the whole type thing. But yeah, I've noticed that those Looks Maxers, like, yeah, you're in the gym, you're doing all these things, but, like, you can't carry a conversation for nothing. Like, you don't know how to talk for nothing. And that's just honesty. That's just, like, life. Like, that's, the recordings of that I made and stuff like that. And I thought that was pretty interesting. And then also there was another looks maxer on Plenty of Fish too. And you know, he was like more on the lankier side, you know, suave hair, you know, and all of that. All right, you know, I see like you putting in the work, you know, people say like, you know, you put in the effort because, you know, you're in the gym and whatnot. But it's like, again, with him, and also he was white too, you know, I was just like, you know, talking around. And again, with him, he also could not talk. Like, it's like, why does every sentence, like, you know, we're texting for a minute, I'm talking about when, like, I like to be called at, okay. So we're talking, and it's like, every sentence ends and begins with bro. Like, yeah, bro, and bro, and bro. And... No, hell no. Nah. What happened to the white people that can speak? No. Like, and first of all, ho. Like, I am not a bro. Like, I am a woman. I am a lady. You know, I am a black queen. You know, and you like, call me bro? Nope, and Blackiana. And I'm sorry, but you're getting the Blackiana. You know, I'm going to have to press Miss Blackiana on you because, like, I want somebody that speaks, like, regular. And I was like, it's this streamer. I was like, it's this streamer stuff. It's the streamer era that we're in that's causing this, you know, craziness. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, it's like this, the streamers. Like, and this bro and, you know, nose maxing, looks maxing. What's wrong with having nostrils? Like, what's wrong with looking as you are? You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, in my mind, in the back of my mind, you know, of course, like, I'm talking, like, yeah, and, you know, just talking and whatnot. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, what happened to white people? You know, not saying that every white people is saying bro, but just like the younger people, like around my age, either 19 or 20, 21, 22, 23. It's like, bro this, bro that. No, like, can you speak, like, first of all, address me as a lady. Address me as a lady. You know what I mean? But I'm just like observing because it's like, who is this man? You know what I mean? And I don't actually have none in this thing anymore, other than like a little drop. But let me just get the rest of it. And then I was talking to this Vietnamese guy. Wait, was he Vietnamese? Let's see. Yeah, he was Vietnamese. Even though, like, of course, you know, like, the main thing I'm looking for, like, hey, if he's, like, half Korean or something like that, that would be cool, because it's, like, I grown up with Korean culture. But, you know, he ended up being Vietnamese, and he was a little bit older. You know what I mean? 40s. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And he... Like, I didn't even recognize that he was wearing Versace in his profile picture on Badu. I didn't even know that. But he was talking about how he was a doctor and how, like, you know, he had a wife at one point, but then she died, and he's, like, a single father. He has a little kid. And then when I, you know, when I was talking to him, I was, like, just listening. So I'm just kind of, like, listening to this man talk. And then he's talking about, like, how, like, he was a traveling doctor and how his wife died. And then, like, you know, when I was talking to that guy, I just felt like red flags, stories not completely falling into place. And then, you know, when I started talking, it was like he was like, just like, he, like, this was like the meaning of love bombing, you know, as people say online. Like, because he was like professing his love for me, saying that he wants to do this and that and this for me, and just like doing too much. And then I find out, like, after he was telling me that he has a child, and I was like ho, like, I am a young ho. And I am not trying to be no single mama. Like, I'm not trying to be no step mama right now. at all. Like, that is not it. And I'm not trying to have a prejudice against people that are like single fathers, but like personally for me, it's a no. Like, it's a no. Like, I don't got no kids. Like, I don't got no kids. I was a good noodle all throughout my teenage years, for the most part. I ain't got no kids, and I'm not trying to be no stepmama. And when I was like talking about the situation on the T app, because there's an app for women, to help them like have better discernment when they're talking to guys, like whether you're doing online dating or in-person dating. The T app can kind of like help you, and you don't have to like expose people, but you can describe your situation and get a bunch of other women like to talk about like their opinions about it. And like I was like, this is giving red flag. And then also it's like like we were texting and stuff like that. Sadly, I don't speak no Vietnamese, but he speaks English to a certain point. But it's like things need to progress. So it's like, why do you not want to, like, I'm not like a texting type of person. We're not gonna like continue to text back and forth forever. Like, and I'm not going to be on the phone all day long. Like, I'm posting 2 videos a week on YouTube and writing 1 newsletter a week on Substack, and I'm balancing my life, and I'm like, putting in the work in other areas. Like, I'm not about to be like texting back and forth all day on the phone, because I actually like am trying to make myself busy doing fun things. Like, you know what I mean? And like, look, I'm building the brand. You know what I mean? I am building the brand. But yeah, he was really giving red flag, and it was really like that in this case, it was love bombing, because it's like, whoa. Like, first of all, love at first sight on a dating app. Excuse me. But love at first sight on the dating app. Like, I'm open to talking to somebody and like seeing how things go, and if things naturally transpire while I'm in my right mind, and like I grow feelings and he grows feelings for me, then that's cool. But like right away, oh, you're so beautiful. Like, he was like kind of like talking like poetry, like the moon and the seas, and you're so this and so that. Okay, like, first of all, that's a compliment. But at the same time, this isn't like no fairy tale land. I'm like having full discernment, and acting like I'm loved, like, I'm not about to move funny or nothing like that in life, because it's like, you want to be careful. Like, I got people that love me in my life. So I'm just like using my discernment. And then I was talking about on the T app, and they were like, yeah, red flag. And I already knew that it was a red flag, but I just wanted to just like ask other people and tell me what they thought. And I was like, yeah, red flag, blockiana. And he got blocked, because it was just like too much. No, I'm not like, I am putting myself out there and talking for the funsies until I like feel something like an actual bond, like an actual connection, and then like you can figure out if you want to like come talk to me and like, take me on a date and stuff like that. And then also another thing that was weird is that like I was like, he did not want to call. He did not want to do a phone call. And I was like, yeah, you're weird. And then I forced the phone call, because I'm not going to be texting back and forth. So I'm like, hello? And he's like angry, not angry a little bit, but like I was talking a little bit with him, and I was like, yeah, very weird, very strange, block. He got blocked. And when I was just thinking to myself, I was just thinking, it is so important, like, to not immediately have your heart on your sleeve in this dating world, because, like, just like all the weird men and people that I was talking to, like, especially on these apps, Like, you have to make sure that your head is screwed on straight, and then some. Like, background checks. Make sure somebody knows where you're at, and make sure that, like, you're really doing the process. Like, make sure that you're, like, doing your part too, and, like, using your discernment, and, like, checking for the green flags and red flags in a person, especially the love bombing. Because I immediately was like, yeah, you're love bombing me, and that ain't about to work on me. It's not about to work. You know what I mean? This is strong. And by the way, I am drinking dun dun dun. Actually, not a drink at all. Like, it's not like an alcoholic drink. This is just like green tea mixed with soursop and lemon juice. And I was drinking it with my mother, and I decided to, you know, put it in my wine glass for funsies. Because I want to be fancy, since I'm talking about dating and being an around the way woman and all the experiences I have experienced thus far in my life. But it is so important. Like, on a serious note, it is so important to have discernment, because I was like, yeah, red flag, you're kind of weird. And also, what else can I say? You know, I feel like a tip that I can give to someone that's dating, whether online or offline, act like you have somebody that loves you in your life. Never move fast. Never be in a rush for nothing, you know, and try not to look like you want something, you know. Don't look like you're despacito. You know what I mean? And, you know, have discernment while talking to guys, because it might not even just be heartbreak, but also it's about your safety, most importantly. You know, and also another thing that I want to talk about, which was like some very funny assumptions that I got from some guys, and then there was one guy. Okay. Now, he was very good looking. He was muscly, he was in shape, and he was older. And he was very much giving, like, let me search up 50 Shades of Grey really quickly. And I'm trying to speak low, because it's like nobody can hear me when I'm in my room and calling somebody from across the room to give me something. But when I talk about, you know, spicy stuff, that everybody's nosy and everybody can hear me. 50 Shades of Grey. Let me see the actor, because I'm like, how good looking was he? You know, that white man. Okay, first of all, not that attractive. Like, not that attractive. Jamie Dornan. But, you know, I have nothing against that man. But there was this guy. Cue the Kermit meme. There was this guy. First of all, he was, would y'all judge me if I say that he was like in his very late 40s? Like, he was in his late 40s. But he was in shape, and he looked like he goes to the gym. And he, like, I'm not even trying to be thirsty, but like, to be descriptive, that man was fine. Like, to be descriptive, that man was fine. And, you know, he had glasses. He had, like, the slutty glasses on. And he was a really in shape older white man. I mean, good looking. Like, you know, I have, like, a Pinterest board, like, a visual of, like, what type of men that I want, like, in many different ways. And, like, he was just, like, on the level. He was on the level physically. And he looked good. And he was slim. No beer gut, no hanging neck. He was good looking. And also he had like some gray hair. And you know, the funniest assumption, you know, I'm talking on the phone. I'm talking to the phone, talking to him. And you know, the funny thing, he assumed, he was just like, you know, are you, like, he didn't hit me with the, hey baby girl. Like, cause I know that, like, from some movie or whatever that went viral not too long ago. People were laughing at some movie that was kind of BDSM-y, where a guy was like, "Hey baby girl, are you lost?" or something like that online. But oh yeah, plus he had nice lips. Like he actually looked really nice, sharp jawline. You know what I mean? Like, he was not somebody's old decrepit grandpa. No. And he had an ear piercing. So like, you know, and I kind of have a history. Like, I'm always like, when it comes to sometimes white guys, sometimes I'm always, getting into something with an alternative guy with the ear piercing. Like, he has like an ear that has a big hole in it. And they like a bubbly black girl, because usually those types, them alternative types, they usually want something different, because like usually they're like the odd one out, like they've been the odd one out in their whole entire life, and it's like they want somebody different, they want a sister, and if it's on period, that it's on period at. Like if it's on period at, then it's on period up. You know what I mean? But life has to go on and things have to progress for me to come to the conclusion of that. But anyways, he was really cute, and I was talking to him, and he I was like just posing innocently with my stuffed animal Ringo right there. Like, I was just posing innocently with my stuffed animal. And, that's one of my profile pictures. Okay, I wasn't like this, like, because first of all, I look like I'm drunk. Like, no, I wasn't posting like that. But he, assumed that I was into BDSM because I have my stuffed animal. And Mr. White Man, like, he was just like, are you into DDLG? And I was like, he was like just talking about like spicy stuff, and I was just like, just listening. But he was like, are you into that? Because I noticed like, sometimes women with profile pictures with their teddy bear, they're into that. What? Well, I do declare, like, wait, what? Like, first of all, no. I am just a woman that loves my stuffed animals, and I have not thrown them away, and I'm gonna hold on to my stuffed animals till I absolutely cannot in my life. But do I like a masculine traditional man? Maybe so. But like, I'm not into no type of like freaky deaky thing. You know what I mean? But he was like asking me like, hey, do you are you like into BDSM? And I was just like, no. I was like, no, I'm not into that. But he was very good looking, I tell you. And I was like, dang, like, I refuse to remove my profile picture with my stuffed animal because of people's assumptions. Like, I refuse that. But, I mean, like, no, I am not into BDSM. I am not into that. But, like, do I want somebody that know how to put it down? Hell yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And like, I think y'all know what I mean. Ooh, this tea is so strong. But that was my experience when it comes to dating apps for a total of 4 months. And again, about that last guy. Okay, freaky white man. Okay. Very sexy. Highly sexy. I mean, good looking. But first of all, like, what are you actually on? So I was like, nah, I just like, with my intuition, you know what I mean? I was talking. And yeah, that was that. Like, I didn't really like be in a long talking stage with that guy for so long. And And yeah, that was that, like I said. But I was laughing to myself. I was like, don't let me start singing Ellie Goulding. I'm like, love me like you do. Love me like you do. Trust me like you do. Wait, trust me like you do. Okay, how does that song go? Love me like you do, love me like you do, like you do. I remember when that song came out, it just felt so monumental. Like, it's like an anthem for the freaks with a heart. Like, you know, because it was about 50 Shades of Grey. And it was so funny, like, back when 50 Shades of Grey was out, like, I was way more innocent than my siblings. Like, I remember, like, my little brother was, like, probably 10 or 12 or 10 or 11 or whatever. You know, because I don't celebrate birthdays like that, but he was, like, real young. And, you know, I'm a teenager still watching Sesame Street and Kermit the Frog. So, like, I was trying to let y'all know the background of it all. And then, like, I thought that movie was so dirty. Like, even though, you know, I would read Wattpad sometimes, but that's besides the point. I was very innocent in the mind. And then I remember, you know, we had Comcast, like, my little brother already watched it, and I was like, how'd you watch it? And then he missed and actually bought the rental on Comcast, and he said, yeah, I watched it. And I was like, what? You're not supposed to watch nothing like that. You're too young. And then I'm over here, teenagers still watching, like, Kermit the Frog, and everybody's watching that at HBO. I'm like, what the freak? You know what I mean? But I can sing that other song, like, you make it look like it's magic, oh, cause I see nobody but you. Hey. I'm so used to being used. Can't you say that? Cause I care for you. Yeah. I'll care for you. Hey. Cause girl, you're perfect. You're always worth it. And you deserve it. Okay, but I'm done. I'm not going to sing the whole thing. Like, this isn't a music cover. But that was the experience on the dating apps. And, you know, like, even though it was an overwhelming amount of different folks talking to me, like, and it was, like, nice knowing that I, like, have that experience. Like, yeah, I might have a quantity of different guys that's actually, you know, decent looking and all that, but the quality of guys is still pretty bad. Because some women are like, I never get swiped right, and, you know, it sucks being ugly. Like, you know, and, like, sometimes they try to make it a black thing, like, it sucks being an ugly black woman. Like, and I don't even agree with that. I'm not even of that. I have never been taught, you know, to have low self-esteem like that. You know what I mean? And, you know, I had a lot of swipe rights, but it was kind of really nauseating to me because it was, like, too much. It's like, once I find out that, okay, this guy has no personality, I feel nothing, like, you know, all right, let me just block him. There's another guy. There's 3-4 more people that's trying to talk to me. It's like life is not meant to be so quick and, like, so popcorn like this. Life is not meant to be so popcorn, like one after the other. It's like a lot. It's a lot. I feel like, if I can be honest, you know, since, you know, for starters, I'm on my worst behavior. Like, I'm on my worst behavior, but if I talk to somebody and then, like, you know, I see what he's on, and, like, you know, and he's cool, like, it might, you know, turn to something more exclusive or whatever. But, you know, wait, what was I saying? Yeah, but it was just, like, a lot. It's, like, too much. And then it's, like, one guy's like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Can I take you out on a date? No! Okay. Like, we talk for 2 weeks maximum. Especially if we're in the city. Like, if you're in the city, 2 weeks maximum. So I can talk to this dude and know what he's actually on. you know, and then like, you know, take the risk of being on a date like with somebody from an app. And just put yourself out there and stuff. But like, it was just too much. It was just like a lot. I just like got rid of it. I was like, yeah, I'm tired. And then it's like, I'm having that same experience. Like, whoa, you're so different. You're so intelligent. You're so like, and then like they just break it down to me. Like actually, it's like talk, you know, real like, hey, you know, most women are not like this on this app, and you know, this is very interesting, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, find out that that guy is not it. Okay, he's playing reindeer games. Okay, block, goodbye. He's playing games, block, goodbye. Red flag, block, goodbye. It's like, it's a lot. And there's another guy like, hey, can I take you out on a date? No! I'm tired of this! This is too much! This is too much for one person to handle. And you know, again, backstory, like I said, you know, I grew up very religious, very sheltered. And you know, I grew up like at the Kingdom Hall, which is the worship place of Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, for the most part, like there is times where like I didn't go when I was super duper young, when my mom was going back and forth with my unbelieving father, you know, back then. And I'm not trying to spill nobody else's tea, but like, hey, I'm just trying to keep it my tea. And you know, I grew very sheltered, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was very interesting putting myself out there, checking the waters, seeing how things are, and just you know, exercising my discernment more than anything on this online digital space that we call dating apps. The biggest thing that I realize is that how different many people's backgrounds are rather than mine, because like I am like me, and you know, and then there's like people with different beliefs, different backgrounds, and it's always kind of like different and fascinating to me, you know, a little bit, because it's like, you know, people that grew up in different backgrounds from you. And, you know, like so much of my life, people would say that I'm so demure, like especially when I was younger, you know, and I would say that I was very much like Lily of the Valley, you know, but black, like black Lily of the Valley. And of course, you know, nowadays, you know, like my, you know, dreams and what I want for my life totally changed from when I was a teenager, and you know, and when I was like 18 and 19. Like I remember a long time ago, I was like, I just want to get married, and then, you know, get married to some like good guy, and then live in a big house, and then have some little skincare business, and then, you know, just be a little lawfully wed wife or whatever. But now, you know, things have changed so much. My mentality changed a lot too. Not saying that I have like this cynical view of life and things like that, because obviously I don't. Like I talk to a wide variety of different guys, like for 4 months. But like a lot of like my goals changed because of like life, how it changed and stuff like that, and like the timeline of when I thought that I was gonna probably get married and meet somebody wasn't happening. And then it's like you need to focus on like figuring out like how to make like money and like be a girl boss, because it's like that's the most important right now in my life. And like sometimes like dating is not confusing, because it's like men are very honest and straightforward, like with themselves. Like it's really not hard when you actually, you know, practice your listening skills when you're talking to guys and texting people and folks and stuff like that. But it's like, what can I say? Like it's just well, okay, I talked about that, but really I was talking about like me and you know, how my goals change because like life changed, and it's just like different now. You know what I mean? And all I can say is that, of course, like I'm much more smarter and wiser, and my brain is like scientists say that your brain is fully developed at 25. So my frontal lobe is developed, and stuff like that. So like that makes dating a little bit easier to navigate because it's like I'm using my discernment, I'm using my listening skills, and I know how to like pick better and stuff like that, and pick the right type of guys and stuff like that. But it's still kind of strange sometimes, and well, not strange, but like on these apps, yeah. But yeah, everybody got blocked basically in the end. In the end, y'all got blocked. And that was a little fun experiment. I feel like dating apps is fun to do just to practice flirting and talking to men, especially if you grew up really sheltered, but like not to rush into anything and stuff like that. And yeah, I know my battery life is getting, like, not my battery life, but I know my phone is like about to run out of storage, so I want to like not talk y'all ears off for too long. But that was like my whole experience with the dating life, with going on a bunch of dating apps, testing out, talking to many different folks. It was really fun, very interesting. But when I realized that talking stage wasn't going nowhere, I was like, yeah, no, like, and whatever, because I'm not a desperate girl, well, woman. And yeah, very interesting. It was very interesting. I would love to hear everybody else's like experiences too, even though I always hear people's experiences and dating horror stories on TikTok. But I would like to know, oh yeah, and like success stories too. But I would like to know, what are y'all thoughts and opinions down below? What do y'all think about me? Do y'all think I'm an uppity African American woman? Like, I am not uppity. But I'm just like being honest. Like, I'm just like talking to being a person online. Like, sheesh. But yeah, this is me, y'all. That's me. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye. I'll catch you in the next video.